All right, today we're pulling back the curtain on what can feel like the most intimidating final exam out there, the ADI Part 3. We're going to walk through exactly what the examiners are looking for, step by step, using their own official guidance. So let's just get right to it. This is the big question, isn't it? We're going to cut through all the myths and rumors and get to the heart of what this test is all about. Because, spoiler alert, it's not really about a perfect drive. It's about being a great teacher.
First things first, we need to get our heads in the right space. Think of this test not as some scary obstacle, but as your chance, your stage, really, to prove you can create a safe and effective lesson that's all about your student. That's the mission.
And look, this sentence right here, this is everything. It's taken word for word from the examiner's script. The two phrases you really got to lock onto are client-centered and appropriate to the needs. It confirms, right from the start, this isn't about you showing off. It's about how well you can adapt to the person sitting next to you.
And you've got about 45 minutes to do it. That's it. That time includes a quick chat before you go, around 40 minutes on the road, and then the final debrief back at the test center. It's short, for sure, but it is intense.
Okay, let's talk about the moments before the engine even starts. Getting these first few steps right is so important. It just sets the tone, shows you're professional and you're ready to go.
The examiner has a script they have to follow, so you can expect this exact sequence. They'll say hello, check your license, get you to sign an insurance form on their app, and just confirm the car is good to go. Then you'll introduce your pupil. Being ready for these 4 steps just makes for such a smooth, confident start.
And of course, your car is basically your classroom for the day, and it has to be up to spec. There are absolutely no exceptions here. The right insurance is a big one, and yeah, things like soft-top convertibles are a definite no-go.
Now, before you set off, the examiner is going to ask you about your pupil. And you need to know, this is a huge moment. This is your first real chance to prove that this isn't some pre-canned, one-size-fits-all lesson. You have to show that you know your pupil, you know their strengths, their weaknesses, and exactly what you plan to work on together today. And we're off. This is the main event. Once you're out on the road, the examiner's just going to sit back and watch you deliver a normal lesson for about 40 minutes. This is where all that planning you talked about comes to life.
It is so important to get the dynamic in the car right. Let's be clear. You are in charge. You are the instructor. The examiner, they're a fly on the wall, quietly observing and taking notes. The only time you'll hear from them is if they think public safety is at immediate risk.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The official guidance actually talks about different types of pupils you might bring, and your success really hangs on your ability to change your teaching style to match the person next to you. One size just does not fit all.
So, for instance, say you bring a pupil who's about to take their test. They might be pretty good technically, but maybe a little overconfident. Your job isn't to teach them how to do a 3-point turn again. It's to sharpen their perception of risk and really get them thinking ahead. Skills for life.
But what if you're teaching someone who's already passed? Well, that's a whole different ballgame. Your job is to be a bit of a detective, find out what they want to work on. Maybe it's getting comfortable on the motorway. And at the same time, you're looking for any bad habits that have started to sneak in, like getting sloppy with those mirror signal maneuver routines. Okay, drive's over. You're back at the test center. The examiner is now going to finalize their assessment. So, let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how you're graded.
You'd think they'd be scoring you on a million different things, right? Well, actually, your entire performance boils down to just 3 main areas of competence. It's all about quality over quantity.
And here they are: lesson planning, risk management, and teaching and learning strategies. Now, these 3 big areas are then broken down into 17 more specific skills that they're looking for throughout the lesson. For every single one of those 17 skills, you get a score from 0 to 3. A 0 means, well, you didn't really show any competence there. A 3 means you absolutely nailed it. Add them all up, and the highest score you can get is a 51.
So what's the difference between a 1 and a 3 in the real world? Let's take that skill, identifying learning goals. A score of 1 means you kind of went through the motions. You asked a question, but then just did what you were going to do anyway. A score of 3? That means you actively listened, you understood the why behind what your pupil said, and you genuinely changed the plan because of it. See the difference?
Okay, now I need you to listen very carefully. This is probably the most important part. There are 2 things that can happen that will lead to an automatic fail no matter how many points you've scored.
You have to remember this. Risk management is the absolute foundation of everything.
If you score 7 points or less in that whole category, it's an automatic fail. And it goes without saying, if the examiner has to step in and stop the car to prevent an accident, your test is over right there and then. Safety is completely non-negotiable.
The assessment is all done. The score is calculated. Now we're at the final and really vital stage of the test, getting your result and the feedback.
The whole point of the feedback session isn't for the examiner to retrain you on the spot. It's to help you understand the why behind your score. They'll give you specific examples of things that happened during your listen and connect them directly to the marking sheet, so you know exactly what to work on. And this conversation happens privately, just between you and the examiner. Your pupil won't be there. But, and this is a great tip, you are allowed to have your own trainer or mentor sit in with you. Having that second pair of ears can be incredibly helpful.
When you boil it all down, the entire Part 3 test is designed to find out the answer to this one question. It's about so much more than a 40-minute drive. It's about proving you have the skills and, more importantly, the mindset to create safe, responsible, and confident drivers for life. And showing that you get that difference, well, that's the real key to passing.